Proper procedure to please patients. Each patient who comes into your doctor's office feels primarily concerned about himself, secondarily interested in the doctor who he hopes will help him, and only casually, if at all, interested in the CA. However, the patient sees you first, and you must create the refined, pleasant, and comforting atmosphere that will make each patient feel more relaxed and less apprehensive. The main purpose of this record is to give you some proper procedures to please patients. When a patient comes to the doctor's office for the first time, you will not know whether he is fearful or courageous, sensitive or callous, agreeable or on the defensive. You can be guided in your approach to people by certain known facts about human beings in general. Psychologists tell us that all humans possess 6 basic desire patterns. It is well for you, the chiropractic assistant, to learn them and to train yourself in the techniques of satisfying these 6 basic desires to the best of your ability. They are: number 1, bodily comfort; number 2, a sense of accomplishment; number 3, a feeling of security; number 4, a craving for sympathy; number 5, the adventure of a new experience; and number 6, the satisfaction of acceptance. Number 1, the desire for bodily comfort, can be satisfied by giving attention to details: the temperature of the room, keeping it moderate; adjusting shades or windows for proper light; frequent change of air; and arranging chairs to afford comfort and a degree of privacy. Is the bathroom supplied with soap, towels, and tissue? These are simple things and generally taken for granted unless they are missing. Are the gowns ripped, or is the opening down the back below the necessary level? It will take only a few minutes of your time to take a needle and thread to mend them, but it will mean a great deal to the modest patients who wear them. Be alert to the patient who is in severe pain or is becoming nauseated or dizzy. Immediately assist him into a back room where he can lie down in privacy away from curious eyes. Give him a drink of water or a cool towel for his face. Show him you care. Number 2, the desire for accomplishment, or the desire for attention, approval, appreciation, and recognition, exists in every individual. It will especially exist in your patients, for a person who has been ill for some time needs encouragement. An elderly patient will be hungry for a sign that you admire some small talent or accomplishment, for many feel that they have passed their time of usefulness and will greatly appreciate your gesture of appreciation. As soon as you learn of some talent, interest, hobby, or incident which applies to a particular patient, jot it down on the record card. There will be many occasions when you can say something sincerely complimentary to the patient. For instance, you might say, "Mr. Jones, I see your son won the swim meet. That's wonderful. I know you are proud of him." Mr. Jones is going to feel a warm glow because you made a point of remembering his son's accomplishment, because, yes, he is proud of him. And he is going to feel that you and your office are very special. You can tell Mrs. Webster that you noticed her lovely flower garden. Ask her how she manages to keep it so beautifully arranged and colorful. That garden is Mrs. Webster's pride and joy, and chances are the next time she comes in, she will bring you a beautiful bouquet of daffodils because you were kind enough to notice and comment on her accomplishment. Put these notes on the file so the doctor can use them also. It will be perfectly proper if you and the doctor comment on the same thing. But always be sincere. Beware of stereotyped compliments and stock phrases. Naturally, you would not tell toothless little Granny that she has a winning smile, but you could notice the lovely pin she is wearing that her granddaughter Sue sent her from California. And you wouldn't tell the high school lad who walks with a slight limp as a result of polio, perhaps, that you just know he will be the star of the football team. But you can sincerely praise him for his exhibit that won first place at the science fair. This is applying the art of graciousness when you inquire about things of importance to people, and it brings a warm response. The patient will feel that he has impressed you, and that is one of the most vital aspects of patient management. This can accomplish many things. First, it makes the patient feel better toward himself, for you have given him a sense of accomplishment which builds him up. Secondly, it makes you feel warm inside, knowing you have made someone happy. And finally, when Mrs. Jones tells Mrs. Brown that her migraine headaches are bothering her again, Mrs. Brown is very likely to say, "Why don't you go to see Dr. Griffin? He has helped me so much, and he is such a fine person. And his office girl is so sweet and friendly, it's just a pleasure to go to his office." Now this actually happens time and time again, as you no doubt have experienced, just because you remembered to apply the art of graciousness. Number 3, you may, as a chiropractic assistant, help satisfy the patient's basic desire for a feeling of security by creating an atmosphere of confidence in the office. Never allow analysis reports, patient's cards, appointment book, or correspondence to lie exposed on your desk. If you open the mail, do it at a time when patients are not present, or take it into the doctor's private office. It may disturb patients to discover that their personal mail to the doctor is handled by you. When a patient returns the confidential health questionnaire to you, keep it sealed and take it immediately into the doctor's office. Never leave it placed carelessly on the desk, and never open it in front of the patient. Mr. Smith would be absolutely terrified if he knew you read that he had nocturnal enuresis, which is a high-sounding term meaning he wet the bed at night. Always give an impression of innocence of knowledge concerning the patient's trouble, unless the patient has told you personally about it. Never discuss Mrs. Green's bursitis or Mr. Bell's sciatica with the other patients. And never release records, listings, or x-rays to a patient or anyone else without the doctor's consent, regardless of how insistent he may be. In insurance cases, those records are invaluable, and in the event of a lawsuit, the doctor would be at the mercy of his accusers without them. Many times when a patient moves to another city, your doctor refers him to a competent DC there. When the patient makes an appointment with this new doctor, he contacts your office and you mail the x-rays and records directly to the other doctor. This eliminates the possibility of the patients losing them in the move, or if you're not having them available if they are needed. A release should always be signed in any event. So when anyone tries to pry information or records from you, just maintain the friendly attitude, "I don't know nothing nohow." This makes each patient feel that his private problems are respected with the utmost loyalty and trust, which of course they are. The 4th basic desire of the patient is for sympathy and understanding. We will cover the problem patients such as the complainer, the whiner, and the crybaby later on in this album. Right now we are referring to the typical patient who comes to your office in pain, suffering from severe ill health, and perhaps filled with fear of the unknown. This patient will require a great deal of discretion and intuition from you. Make sure that your manner and your voice are soothing, protective, and gentle. You can create instant and lasting feelings of warmth for yourself and your doctor while satisfying this basic need for sympathy and understanding. If a patient is having a hard time getting in the door or to a chair because of a severe pain, do not hesitate to get up immediately and go to his assistance. If a patient is suffering severe low back pain, he sometimes would rather you didn't try to help him because he must move cautiously as the pain dictates. In that case, stand close by, but do not touch the patient or try to maneuver him. Your empathy alone will give him moral support without your saying a single word. This patient is in agony trying to sit down or get up, so take him directly to the adjusting room or to a back room where he can lie down until the doctor can see him. Remember, empathy and sympathy are cousins, but empathy comes from stronger stock. It is a term used for the feeling one experiences when seeing or hearing of some event or happening which causes him to conjure up or imagine the scene and have the same sensation as those actually participating. In other words, you see things through another's eyes. When a patient is in pain, employ empathy. Experience that pain with him, and you will automatically become kinder, more soft-spoken, and more considerate. Sympathy sometimes causes a patient to feel even more sorry for himself, a destructive emotion. Empathy makes him feel that you care that he is suffering and will do all you can to get him quickly into your doctor's office where his pain can be relieved, and he will be grateful for your kindness. In order to carry out this important part of your work, it is essential that you love people and you love your work, for love is the foundation of service, and service is the cornerstone of love. A CA who has a heart filled with love and a mind filled with service will fulfill in her lifetime her mission, talent, and destiny of health, happiness, and success. The real meaning of love lies in surrendering yourself to the service of your fellow man. And in chiropractic, this can become a living reality through your relationship with your patients. You are not just a receptionist. You are someone who is helping to build confidence in a profession that will bring health and freedom from pain to many hundreds of suffering patients who will come into your office. The depth of love determines the width of service. The quality and quantity of service are determined by the quality and quantity of love. Love with all the heart and soul. Serve with all the mind and body. Fifth in our list is the desire for the adventure of a new experience. When a patient comes into the office of a doctor of chiropractic, he usually doesn't know just what to expect. His neighbor, Mr. Link, told him that chiropractic would certainly help his stubborn sinus condition. But his friend George said he was stupid to go to a back cracker. George told him that 2 or 3 of these newfangled shots would fix him up. However, the newfangled shots didn't help him at all, so he finally decided he would try your doctor. Before this patient ever sees the doctor, you, the CA, your appearance, your attitude, your office, and your conversation are all on trial. He has perhaps made the rounds of MD's offices, medical clinics, and hospitals, so he must find satisfaction in this chiropractic office because his wife and his friend George both feel he is foolish for consulting a chiropractor, although they have no real reason for their attitude. An up-to-date environment, a sense of modernity, an impressive library, the doctor's framed certificates, well cared for adjusting tables and equipment, all create a favorable first impression. But now a word about your reading table. 9 times out of 10, the first thing a patient does when he comes into the office is sit down and immediately take the first available literature and begin to read. The doctor has other, more technical things to worry about than this reading material. But when he realizes the importance of what his patients' minds are filled with before he sees them, he will no longer be content to bring down the magazines his wife has finished reading. First, the magazines should be neat on the table, so you will need to go over and straighten them several times a day. And magazines such as Good Housekeeping, Red Book, Life, and Look are quite popular, but not necessarily for the reading table. In practically every issue there are articles entitled, "Are you protecting the health of your child with regular inoculations?" or "Surgery may save your life." We all realize that medicine exists, we accept it, and we do not oppose it. However, there is no need for us to participate in the brainwashing of the public. The AMA does an excellent job by itself, and these articles will cause the patient to comment on them and ask your opinion. Then you are caught in the web of controversy. There are also articles on politics, religion, racial problems, and other topics that you want to avoid as conversational bombs in the reception room. There are many chiropractic publications that are most appropriate for your reading table. An annual from the college where your doctor received his degree is an asset. The patients are very interested in the college where their doctor received his training. And Our Patients Speak notebook with actual statements and photographs from patients is an excellent selection, as well as a good way to plant the seed of a good referral concept in each patient. An album or picture frame with pictures of children who are the doctor's patients makes an enthusiastic conversation piece and makes it easy for you to comment on how little Billy responded beautifully to chiropractic care. Or you might make a scrapbook full of clever jokes and cartoons which keep patients smiling and at ease while waiting. There are many excellent publications for the children, such as Child Life or Children's Activities. So take care in selecting the material for the reading table. Chances are this will be your job, and many times it will set the stage for the patient's frame of mind when he goes in to see the doctor. And finally, number 6, the basic desire for the satisfaction of acceptance. In the chiropractor's office, the CA plays an important part in giving this sense of acceptance by making each patient feel that he is important and liked, and that there is a genuine desire to please him. The patients will expect you to be professional, and your greetings must not be loud, effusive, or insincere. You should be sincerely interested and happy to see each patient. Assume poise, graciousness, alertness, and courtesy until they become a natural part of your personality. Practice numerous little attentions and display courtesy on every occasion. Show an appreciation of John Smith's joke, even if you have heard it before. Learn to be a good listener, too. Talk only when the patient wants to listen. Few people are immune to the flattery of rapt attention. You can pay a person no higher compliment than the exclusive attention you give him simply by listening. By being a good listener, you provide sympathy, silence, encouragement, and appreciation all at the same time. Listening is the highest form of projecting affection and understanding. More often than not, the patient who seeks out your listening ear needs reassurance more than anything else. Give it willingly. And, too, you will learn much more about the basic personality of the patient than you ever will through questionnaires, because people always end up telling a good listener much more than they intended to in the beginning. When Betty Brown is telling you that her little Johnny started walking yesterday at only 11 months, for goodness sake, don't tell her that your little David walked when he was only 9 months. When Sam Jacobs, an avid fisherman, tells you of his latest catch, don't say, "Oh, I can't stand to go fishing. Fish are smelly and I just couldn't bear to put a squirmy worm on the hook." For if you do, you are belittling the things that they are proud of, and they couldn't care less how you feel about something if it is contrary to their own opinions. And this can plant a seed of irritation and distrust for the days to come. And always remember that you, the CA, are a saleslady. You constantly sell. You sell yourself, your doctor, your reception room, chiropractic. So study other people to find out what makes them tick. By extreme alertness and sensitivity, many times you can sense the real reason a patient is reluctant to see the doctor, why he is slow in paying his bill, why he is hard to handle, why he won't admit that he is improving, why he has a chip on his shoulder. Watch your patients. Think about what they do and say and why. Ask them questions. As your knowledge of people increases, so will your sensitivity to their feelings, and thus your ability to deal with them. With greater and greater certainty, you will know the right things to do and the right things to say to get the response you are looking for. Winning patients to your doctor's office and to your doctor often takes time, thought, and planning. The more carefully and thoroughly you go about it, the greater your chances of success. People always prefer the salesman who knows his product or service from A to Z. Your patients are no exception. They are sick and they want to get well. To sell them on the idea that they have come to the right place, know your subject. Stay alert. Read everything you can find on chiropractic. There is no limit to the questions you may be asked. Know the answers. Go over different articles, techniques, and various other information with your doctor. If you know what he is doing, it will mean more to you, and he will appreciate your interest and be glad to give you additional information. Now, every doctor wants to make money, sure, but he is mainly motivated by a genuine desire to serve sick humanity. Your doctor and you are performing an important, essential service for sick people. You know you are trying to do what is best for the patient, and it shows in your attitude. It gives you a surge of confidence and enthusiasm which impresses each patient. So just remember, be sure you are interested in other people. Satisfy to the best of your ability these 6 basic desires of your patients: bodily comfort, sense of accomplishment, feeling of security, craving for sympathy, the adventure of a new experience, and the satisfaction of acceptance. Establish a pleasant and friendly relationship. Know chiropractic. Have confidence and a positive approach. In short, use proper procedures to please patients. Then go full speed ahead.